believe that you are capable of making it happen. You have to believe that you have the right stuff and that you're able to pull it off. Now, whether you call it self-esteem, self-confidence, or self-assurance, it's a deep-seated belief that you have what it takes, the abilities, the inner resources, the talents, and the skills to create your desired results. Now, believing in yourself is simply an attitude. Believing in yourself is a choice. You have to choose to believe that you can do anything you set your mind to. Anything at all. Because, in fact, you can.
What does it mean to you, this victory?
It means everything. It means everything. It means you were right. It means they were right. It means that the people that didn't believe, they were wrong. It means that when you don't believe, you do yourself a disservice because it is wrong. So you got to believe. You got to believe in what you want to do. You got to believe in what you want to get accomplished, and believe that somehow, somewhere within yourself and in the universe around you, there are tools and resources that will be of aid and help the man that really wants to get it done.
Life is death without change. Are you willing to make a change in your life, to realize a dream, to fulfill what's in your mind, what you can visualize as your life? And are you willing?
Woo! Good morning, dreamers. Happy Monday, TGIM. You already know the growth includes Monday. So good to see everybody. Who we got in here? JoJo, Cedric in the building. I love to see you, dreamers. How was the weekend? Sending love and blessings to everybody. Grand Rising. Phenomenal topic coming in here today. Today we're going to be talking about the 4 different types of people to really go ahead and put life into perspective. Fix the BMW. It's always something. Absolutely. Feeling good, vibrating high. A lot of blessings are here and in the making. So let's go ahead and get live on IG. Let me know what's everybody grateful for coming into today. 1, 2, 3 things. Drop it down below. Let me know. Let me see it. We've got an amazing week ahead. Packed out schedule. A lot of value. Got some amazing speakers coming this week, fam. A lot of education. A lot of gems is on the way. So here we go. 4 types of people. Awesome. Here we go. Love it. IG is live, fam. What are we grateful today? So thankful to be alive. I'm so grateful for God. I'm so blessed to be on here with each and every single one of you. We had an amazing call last night, setting up the week, setting up the rest of this month, getting ready to really end 2023. Leaving everything out on the field. You see, there's 2 types of people coming into the end of 2023. You've got individuals who are going to be on the field, taking action, doing the daily activities. And then you have others who are going to be on the sidelines watching. And I believe this has never been a better time to go ahead and really get into the game. Dean, love to see it. We got some big moves on the way. Love to see it, Queen. Awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. You already know, grateful for the Kangen, grateful for so many things right now. The morning routine today is day 400. Let's see. Give a little check. Accountability check. Day 459. Locked in with the journal, painting the vision, writing it clear so those that see it can pick it up and run with it. And it's not going to be a coincidence why so many amazing things continue to get manifested for each of us, because the vision happens spiritually and then it happens physically the second we write it down. So let's get into it. 5 days off to Colombia. Man, got the family taking trips out of the country and moving out with these skill sets. Digital streams, the power of 2023. I'm telling you, the beauty of life right now is in the palm of our hands, being able to utilize these skill sets. So let's dive in for today. All right, today we're going to be talking about the 4 different types of people. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet, but I think this is crucial to go back and remember. You know, I've taught this training a couple of different times, but when this really gets clear, when this really resonates, you're going to understand why we're so dialed in on creating a brand, on building our social media, on learning digital streams, right? In the times that are coming in the next 6 to 12, 18 months, things are going to get there's going to be a cold winter, long winter for a lot of people, but for us, we're prepared and we're ready to go ahead and take advantage. So here we go. Let's get into it. 4 different types of people. Give me a couple minutes, and this is going to be one that you don't want to forget. So let's get into it. Number 1, the first person, the first type of individual is going to be known as you can think of them as somebody who's the typical 9 to 5. Okay, if you guys have ever worked your typical 9 to 5, you know, you've worked at Publix, you've worked at Target, you've worked at the gas station. Shayna Talina, it's good to see you. Okay, the first level is going to be known essentially as management, right? Management manipulators. Okay, they're at the bottom. They're making $9 an hour, $12 an hour, 15, 20. I've worked these jobs before, right? I've worked in the restaurant, made minimum wage, worked at a couple of different places, made minimum wage. So I've been at the first rank. I'm sure a lot of us have been there as well. Drop a 2 down below if you guys have ever been employed anywhere and you guys have made around minimum wage. If the answer is yes, then you are just like me and you fit into the first type of person, the first quadrant, okay, of life. Here's number 2. The second type of person, the second quadrant, you know, as far as success goes, is going to be known as coordinators, right? This is interesting when you really learn this, okay? Coordinators. Coordinators are those that essentially manage the manipulators, right? So we have individuals like our managers, those that are running the office, right? Our manager at a gym, manager at the grocery store, manager at Publix. They make a little bit more money. They might work a little less hours, but they make a little bit more money. So the first level employee, they can get paid $24,000 a year, $40,000 a year. Not bad. Nothing wrong with that at all. The second level for a manager, we all know managers make a little bit more money, right? I know Dean dealt with some managers in the lifetime. Fran, what's going on? Drop a 3 down below if you guys have ever been a manager. If you've ever managed a shoe store, Nike, Reebok over in the mall, that's stage number 2. They can do well, right? Managers can make 60, 70, 80K a year. Great money, okay? I've never been a manager personally, but a lot of my friends have been managers, right? I've actually got one of my buddies was just over here yesterday. He's a manager at AT&T, right? So that's level 2. They can do great. Let's go on to number 3. Here's the third level, right? Now we're moving up the ladder. We're moving up the scale. The third level is going to be communicators, right? Communicators. Check this out. This is interesting. Communicators can make very, very good money. They can make great money. Think about actors. Think about musicians. Think about artists, right? Leonardo DiCaprio, he's got a couple millions from his movies. How about speakers? We have public speakers. Gary Vee. Gary Vee can go charge $100,000 for an hour to go speak. The power of being able to know how to communicate, right? Needs to come chat with me. Want to check out his AT&T for sure, absolutely, right? So communicators, right? Learning how to speak. Salesmen. If you guys don't know, you know the top 2 industries in the world actually happens to be sales, right? As far as becoming a millionaire, as far as really creating wealth, happens to be between sales, real estate, network marketing, these industries right here. So if we're being honest, communication was a weak spot for me. In fact, I actually got a C in public speaking in college. I wasn't the greatest at public speaking. I had a phenomenal network in school, was very outgoing, was very extroverted, but at the same time, I was very introverted. I liked to be alone. I didn't mind sitting in the back of the classroom. I didn't mind, not going out all the time and sticking to myself. Okay, so that's communication. Number 3, you ready? Think about that. A football player in the huddle, speaking out the play, going and getting a win. They get paid millions of dollars for knowing how to communicate. Now let's get into the 4th level. You ready? Here's number 4. The 4th level is going to be Who can give me a guess? Who's got an idea what the 4th level is? If the 3rd level, they can make millions, they can do very well. Who's got to guess what number 4 is? Number 4 is imagination. Imagination. You know what's interesting about this one? If you pay attention and we look at some of the biggest companies that we know, how were they created? Uber, Cash App, Lyft, Snapchat, Netflix, all of these companies, they didn't exist a handful of years ago, right? But you see, what somebody did, they used their imagination. They took an idea that was out there in the ether. It didn't exist yet. It wasn't tangible. Nobody could touch it yet. They took that idea and they actually turned it from the spiritual world into the physical. You guys know the Walt Disney story? You see, Walt Disney had a best friend named Art. And every day, at the beginning of planning out his idea, he would call his buddy Art and he'd say, I've got this phenomenal idea. And Art lived on this huge mountain range. And Walt Disney would call him up. He's like, Art, I've got this amazing idea. I'd love for you to be partners with me. And Art just kept putting down his ideas. He just kept telling me it's never going to be able to work. And eventually Walt said, you know what? I'm going to drive over there. I'm going to give you, my spiel. And I want you to actually really give me your honest opinion. Well, Walt drives over there and he drives all the way over to this beautiful house in the mountains. He parks at the end of this dirt road and he's got to walk about 3.5 miles just to get to his buddy's his buddy Art's house. And he gets there and he walks out in the backyard and he's got Art on his shoulder. And he says, Art, you see this huge mountain range that you have back here? Well, I have this vision. I have this vision to create this theme park, create all these amazing characters that people are going to love. I'm going to create a place where people can truly feel love, happiness, spend time with their family. And Art's like, are you absolutely crazy? Are you freaking nuts? Well, long story short, as Walt Disney ended up walking back home, they say that every step that Walt Disney took back home on his 3.5-mile walk down that dirt road, every step was essentially $1 million that Art missed out on because he couldn't believe Walt Disney's imagination. Oof. Let that sink in. So when you really think about it, a lot of the big companies that we see today, believe it or not, it's actually somebody's last name. Rolls-Royce, Henry Ford, right? Wells Fargo, all of these companies that we see are actually somebody's last name. So when you really start to realize it, the most powerful thing in the world is not a company, is not a brand that's external. It's you and I. And the example that I always give it is this one. For my ladies on the call, how many of my ladies know what the biggest makeup brand used to be a couple years ago? Let's just say before the Jenners, before the Kardashians. Who knows this? For my ladies. What was the biggest makeup brand a couple years ago? Used to be Maybelline, right? Now, fast forward to today, one of the biggest brands is Kylie Jenner. So my point being is the biggest brands in the world are afraid of individuals like you and I, right? People are not going to the movie theater to go ahead and watch movies anymore. They're going on YouTube. Why? Because you and I are the TV show. You and I are the new movies, are the new superstars of our movie that people are waiting to come in and watch. Lovely. I love to see it. So dream, right. Fenty, absolutely. Fenty. So dreamers, with that being said, that's my training for everybody today. So if you haven't taken the time to figure out what is your brand, what do you stand for? You see, my name used to be Define22 on social media, right? Because my sports number was always 22. That was something that always carried me, always will. But I got to a point and I started to ask myself, when I get on stage, when I'm speaking in front of thousands of people, do I want people to know me as Define22? And the answer was no. So I had to really sit down and think about, what is my brand? What is my superstar? What does my superhero look like? So I took my name Define and I said, I got to be able to put this thing together. Hence, Define Dreams was created when I graduated college. You know why? Because I got out $30K in debt and I had no job. And I'm looking at all of my friends, all of my roommates, and everybody's going to make out $10, $12, $15 an hour. And I kept asking myself, we just spent all of this time, all of this money to get out to essentially make minimum wage for what? Shane was 11, right? So I started to see that the reason why most people end up getting stuck, and I actually spent a lot of my time before I graduated, about 60 hours of community service inside of a nursing home. And every time I asked somebody the same question, do you have something that you could go back in time that you would change? And every single person always said, I wish I would have danced. I wish I would have committed to something that I always wanted to do. But most people have never defined their own dreams. Therefore, they let somebody else in life define their own dreams. And I can tell you, odds are they don't have our best intentions for us, right? A job, Never talk down a job, but I'm always up on opportunity. And the truth is nobody ever got rich just working a 9 to 5. So we're never down on jobs, but I'll tell you what, we are up on opportunity. Nothing wrong with a job, but I came to a point in my life where I realized there's something wrong with spending half the day building somebody else's dreams and coming back home to be too tired to build my dreams, to build my imagination, to go ahead and build my brand. So if this resonates with everybody today, go ahead and drop some 7s down below. Let me know if you're ready to go ahead and let that last name ring, because there's nothing more powerful than that. The world has been waiting to hear that last name, to hear that story, to hear that value, to hear that impact. And I believe there's never been a better time than right now to go ahead and let that voice, let that story shine. So go ahead and drop it down below. Let me see. Smash that like button if you guys got any value for today. And this is what I'm hungry to see for the next 60 days. Let me see that last name, right? Grant Cardone talks about being able to get loud. It doesn't matter how great our product is. It doesn't matter how great our value is. If nobody knows who we are, essentially, we're a ghost. So I know every single one of us on this call, we all have a beautiful imagination. We all have extremely phenomenal characteristics when it comes to being able to get creative, be intuitive, be ingenuitive, and utilize the potential that all of us have sitting right here in our fingertips. So dreamers, I love you. Remember, we can be, do, and have anything we can hold in our mind. We can hold it right here in our hand. It's Monday. Let's go out and dominate the rest of the week, turning dreams to reality. It is the takeover, not just in Southwest Florida, but globally. You already know. Let's get to work. It's game time, fam.